Hey everybody, it's Aaron, and thanks for tuning in to this week's Market Minutes. Inventory is slow this week, and since we're at the end of technically the spring market, wanted to run down some stats. I'm going to go zip code by zip code, tell you what's going on in your neighborhood. Let's do this. So before I jump into the stats, let's take a quick look at what's happening with interest rates. It has been a volatile week, really last 2 weeks in the market. They have ticked up a bit. We are not seeing that slow anybody down on the buy side. But right now, the average 30-year fix for conforming, you're looking right around 7.35-ish. And then on a jumbo, which in Montgomery County would be over about 1,090,000, that jumps up to about 7.55%. We think it's probably going to hang out here for a little bit. Some of the news lately hasn't been great for interest rates. But again, we're not seeing that change a whole lot in terms of what's happening day to day in the market. So let's jump into the numbers by zip code. I'm going to run this down pretty fast. Our back office is going to put these stats on the screen so you'll be able to see them. Let's start off in Bethesda, right over the DC line, 20816. That's been a hot pocket lately. We're looking in terms of number of listings coming to market. We've been averaging just over 13 listings per month, 1 or 2 per week. That makes sense. Median days on market is 6. So things are going in that first weekend. And we have been seeing some big numbers come out of this pocket, and it shows here in the stats. Between 800 and 1.5, we're seeing 8.7% median over list price, and 1.5 to 2 million, it just ticks a bit lower at 7.2%. Really strong pocket right now. We head over to 2815 into the Chevy Chase area. We are looking at even lower inventory. So we've got about 8.67 homes hitting the market every month. They are also going in that roughly 6-day range. In terms of the stats, I thought this was interesting. So the lower end stuff in Chevy Chase pretty much at this point means it's going to be either a tear down or something needing a large amount of renovation. So interestingly, if you look at the median days on market for those houses is still 6. But the pricing is actually flat, the list to sale price. So we're not seeing huge escalations on things that need a lot of renovation because we've got a much smaller buyer pool for those products. In the $1.5 to $2 million range in Chevy Chase, which is where, that's like the affordable range of Chevy Chase, we then trend just like Bethesda. We've got 7.3% above list price being the average. Totally makes sense given that market. Heading over to 2817, this is the largest zip code in Bethesda. This includes basically north of Green Tree, Wingate, all that area. Expectedly, we see more listings coming up in that pocket, bigger area. We're hitting about 25.67 homes coming on per month. They also have an average days on market of about 6. And we've seen a larger increase in the amount over list price in things in that pocket between 800 and 1.5. Does trend very much like our other zip codes at 7.7% over. Once we get into that 1.5 to 2 million range, that drops down to about 2%. So definitely a shift in the buyer pool over 1.5 in those sort of northern western areas of Bethesda. All right, sliding over into 2895, that's the Kensington area. Just over 6.3 houses have come on per month in that pocket. And the inventory has not been great, and that's going to show in some of these other stats here. So median days on market in that area is 6, also trending with the rest of the market. The amount over list is showing 3.2%, but I'm not really buying that. I've been looking at the inventory over there. It hasn't been great. And that's why I think the amount over is kind of skewed in this case. And then there were only a few homes that sold between 1.5 and 2. I think that skews that number as well. The days on market for those homes hit 12, and they all sold at about list. Again, I think the Kensington numbers in terms of everything that's happening right now are a little skewed just because there's been such a lack of inventory. Heading on up to North Bethesda, the 20852 zip code. This would be like Lux Manor, Old Farm, Tilden Woods, that area. We're seeing just over 7 houses hit the market per month. It's been a very hot pocket. Again, about 6 days on market. And the stats are showing about 3% over list price. We've been seeing a lot of people in this pocket go a little higher on their list price. So at 3% over, I feel like that's a little skewed as well. I've seen a lot of good houses over there going 7 to 10% over. So take that stat with a grain of salt, but it's been very hot over there lately. And finishing it out in 20854, we are roughly running, and you know, that's a huge county. We're running about 35 homes per month hitting the market. Again, they're all selling within that first weekend, 6 days or so. In the 800 to 1.5 range, the stats are showing just about 4.5% over list price. I think that's about fair, maybe even a little low. We have seen some houses go really crazy in 20854 in the last couple months. And as expected, when you get into the Potomac area above 1.5, there is a smaller buyer pool than you would see, say, in Bethesda. The amount over list price in 20854 above 1.5 is about flat. But they are selling within a week, which is a really good thing for Potomac. All right, well, we hope those stats were helpful. Definitely should give you a sense of what's going on out there. I do want to put a caveat on some of these stats. So right now we're talking a lot about, so the buyers have a mindset that things are going to escalate. But how much it escalates very much depends on the strategy of the seller and the listing agent and where they position that property. We still see some properties that are being sort of artificially listed low to get a big run up in escalation, whereas others are taking the strategy of listing it higher, thinking that it might escalate some, but not nearly to the extent as others. So very important that you have an agent who knows that pocket, knows what's come on recently, and can tell you kind of where that strategy lies. Thank you all for tuning in. If you know anybody who's getting into the market or looking to sell, please reach out. You know we'd love to help. Stay tuned for next week. We've got a really awesome house coming to market in Horizon Hill and Potomac. You don't want to miss that one. Have an awesome weekend, everybody. Later.